Today we have this 1970 Remington Model 24 vintage desktop typewriter. To show you how to use the functions and make sure they all work. This is the first Remington 70s model that I've ever had. I really like it because it shows the fashion of this time era. It's got the plastic shell and the wood logo on front. It's got a plastic shell, but the interior parts are all really high quality metal parts. Remington was a top brand at the time. It's got a paper guide here that you can adjust to guide the paper in wherever you want on the platen. The platen is your main roller here that the paper feeds into, and these are your margins. So this has a wide carriage, and for some reason it will only allow you to move the right margin to the 0, which is right dead smack in the middle. And I believe that has something to do with maybe typing with 2 pages so you can have a margin closer to the middle. I'm not sure, I'm not too familiar with the wide carriage, but this right margin only goes to that spot. And say you wanted to be closer to that margin and have a smaller margin of typing, then you can just move this and load it in just like that, and then you have your pages wherever you want on the platen. We're going to keep it all the way on the end traditional and put the margin right there, and that's where you'll stop, all the way at the end of the platen. And this right margin will be right at the edge of this page, so you have a full page of typing, which is what I like to do anyway, so it's perfect for what I do the way it is. Put as many letters on the page as I can. Once you hear the bell, you're at the end of the margin, and you hit this line space, gets you back to the beginning. It skips 1, 2, or 3. Right now we have it on single, but if you want double, you just flip this switch down 1 and it skips 2, 1 more and it skips 3. That works good. We're going to keep it on single for now, and I was able to type all of the keys on one line because this has Elite typeface, which prints 12 characters per inch. This is a little bit smaller than the Pica, which is 10 characters per inch, and it's just the Pica has a bigger font, so you can see it easier, but you can't type as many words on a page. I'm going to type a sentence on this next line. Really like this machine. I was really pleasantly surprised because it's got really nice print, but once you first see this, you might think, oh well, it's plastic or whatever, it might be cheap, but no, it's really high quality made typewriter. I really like this machine, and to me it's a piece of history because it just has the fashion look of the 70s and 60s. To pull the page out easy, you just flip that switch forward on this right side here, and it unlocks the rollers underneath the platen, allowing you to pull the page out easy or load thicker paper like carbon copy or cardstock. Make sure you flip that back before you load the next page, or else it won't load correctly. On this left side here, this is your touch control. So the farther down you go, the higher the tension is on the keys. So you just gotta hit the keys harder and they respond faster. So for more advanced typing, that's what you wanna use. I keep mine all the way on low tension so I don't have to hit them as hard. I'm used to typing on a computer, so I don't like to hit the keys too hard when I'm typing. This is your tab set control. Right now we have one right in the middle. If you want to clear that, you hit tab clear on the left side here, and then that will go all the way to the end. So we're going to keep one set in the middle by hitting this tab set button on the right side there. And I like to have one set in the middle at all times in case when somebody hits this not knowing where the tab is, it doesn't go slamming all the way to the end, causing wear and tear on your typewriter. It'll just stop right at that middle spot. And a backspace on the top left here, that works good. A shift on each side and a shift lock on each side as well. So to clear that, you just hit the shift button again, and both of those work good. What else? MR stands for margin release. You get to the end of the margin, and it has a mechanism like all typewriters do that locks the keys so you can't type anything. And if you want to get past that, just hit that MR button and you can type past that margin. And this KR stands for key release. I've never seen that on a typewriter. I've seen it on some Smith Coronas, but it just has some arrows going down, so the key release is something new to me. But what that does is if you have multiple keys stuck, so if you hit 2 keys at the same time, sometimes they'll get stuck, and you hit that key release, it'll just pop them all down. So you don't have to reach in there and push them down manually. You just hit that button and keep typing. Open the hood here. You got your spools and your ribbon direction control right here. Right now we have all the brand new ribbon loaded on the left side here, so it's pulling to the right. As you can see, it'll pull counterclockwise to the right. And if you want to switch that direction, you just flip this switch to the right, and it pushes this gear so it pulls now clockwise to the left side. We're going to keep it pulling to the right so that way we use up all that brand new ribbon. And this pops back on pretty easily. You just line it up behind these 2 little holes and it just snaps right back in. Carriage release on each side here above the knob. And this also has a pretty cool function where you flip these two little levers up, and you can pull the platen right out and clean out that area. Sometimes paper gets stuck in there and debris, so you can just easily remove this one. I've removed platens on a lot of the older models, and some of them are really hard to get off and back in, and you can, some people can total the typewriter if they don't know how to do that right and they break it, but this one's very easy to do. Carriage release on this side works good, and this lever, if you push it forward, it disables the spacing mechanism so you can get to an exact spot on the page. And also this does the same thing. Just as you can see, it just spins it without the spacing. Each one of these clicks is a space. And that's about it. Now available on eBay or Etsy. Search Brooksaw Antiques.